Hello, everybody. How's it going, my peoples? How's it going? I hope my peoples be on. Somehow the time of the live was mixed up. But how are you all doing? How's everything going? How's everything going? And thank you for joining me live tonight. Thank you. Please share the live, you all. I set up the live for 6:30. Somehow YouTube got the time mixed up and put it on there for 7:30. So I know that people may not have been notified about the live. So please share the live with others. Share the live as we get it started. Today will be a very, very inspiring live. I absolutely welcome our guests, especially with this month being Mother's Day month and getting to bring that special story to the stage. Definitely is a blessing. So let's welcome our guests, you all. Let's get a few more people in the live. How's it going, my sister Kay? A pleasant good evening to you, Marie. Hello, everybody. Hello, sis. How's it going? And thank you for joining me. Mr. Seal, hello, Marie, and everyone in the chat. How's it going? Good evening, everyone. My sister Arlene, good evening to you. Good evening. Sending my love, sending love. So you all please share the live as we welcome our guest tonight. Very inspiring young man. Please share the live. Hey Stallion, tonight we would not be having Boss Mike, but Boss Mike will be with me soon. You all will get to see Boss Mike. So let's welcome our guests, you all. Welcome, Mr. Jorge. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime, my brother. You know what? I said tonight I would not be doing much talking because you got the stage, okay? I want you to do the talking, and I think your story itself it speaks for itself. So please introduce yourself. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
My name's Jorge. I just turned 38 in April. I'm originally from Maryland area, DMV. Retired to the Dominican Republic with my mom due to her dementia and been living the dream ever since.
Well, we got to slow down a little bit, okay? Because
Okay.
all the in between people may not know. Where did you grow up? Tell the people a little bit about your background.
I grew up in Maryland. My mom is from the Dominican Republic. My dad is Cuban. But I lived in United States pretty much all my life.
Pretty much all your life, okay? So, have you ever traveled to Cuba? What other
Yep.
places had you traveled to that? Why
I
did
was
you
a young.
decide DR?
Okay, why did I decide DR? One,
Mm-hmm.
so I've traveled to Cuba. I've traveled the DR. Just with friends on vacation, enjoying myself, having fun. All Colombia, all sorts of different places. But I chose DR because my mom is from DR. So she's not a U.S. citizen, which was another problem. She's lived in the States pretty much all her life, but she never learned English. So she was always intimidated to go get her citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
So DR was easy for us as far as the citizenship. Actually, we're in the process now that she might even lose her green card because we're here so much. We're here so much. Hopefully not, but that's something that we're battling now that she might lose it.
So, because bringing you to the show, we're bringing awareness about several things, okay? And
Mhm.
glad you brought up that subject. So, because she have her residency card, she's not allowed to stay in DR for a period amount of time.
So They give you you can't stay over 12 months, but we do like every couple months we go back. But when we go back, we only go back for 4 or 5 days. So it can get, they said that it's up in the air. It all depends on what immigration official when you come in, or if the luck of the draw, you know. So it can be that they say, well, she's out of the US more than she's you know, she's in the DR more than she's in the US. So we're just gonna revoke it. So it's not that 100%, but that is one of the things that we're battling now, because you're only supposed to do up to 12 months, but you're only technically supposed to be out of the US 6 months collectively at a time, to my understanding.
So that's those rules
For the
apply
physical
to.
year, for the whole physical year, you shouldn't be out of the US more than what you're you know, in a different country. I mean, you shouldn't be in a different country more than what you're in the US, supposedly, to my understanding.
When you want to say classify yourself as a U.S. resident.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, your story is inspiring. I want you to loosen up a little bit. I know that this is not something that you really used to. And
Yeah.
you recently just started a YouTube channel.
I
And
did.
please share his link, you all, so that I would like for you all to stop by this young man's channel and give it a like, and definitely hit that subscribe button as he is on his journey to 1,000 subscribers. Now I want the meat, okay? You're how old?
I'm 38. 38.
38.
I just turned 38.
Just turned 38.
Yeah.
So 38 years old, and you decide to make such a big selfless move, all right? At 38, majority young, at 38, I am 38, right? Majority of us are thinking about, beginning life and yada, yada, yada. And living outside of ourselves is not something that most 38-year-olds today is embracing. But what got me about your story is the fact that at 38, being a young man in your prime, it being said that men mature slower than women, right? So you 38, but really, let's just say you 28 as a man. But you decide to be so responsible and make that big leap. um is it for it's not just for enjoyment? Let us know, come on, open up. Why did you really decide to move to DR? What kind of issues was going on? Why?
Well, so back in 2020, we came to DR for 3 months. I own a small trucking business, so we came to DR. It's like the winter times is our slow month. I come to DR for 3 months, and I was with my mom all the time. You know, the life in the States is always a rat race. So my mom's, she lived with me for years, right? For years, since like a couple years before she retired, she lived with me. My mom's 79, by the way. She had me late. I'm the youngest. So in those 3 months, you start noticing more things because you're not, you know, in the US rat race. So I started noticing she's forgetting stuff. She leaving the the stove on. She's asking where. So when we go back to the States, not even 30 days, I had to make the decision because when I get back to the States, business as usual, back to work. Well, since she was with me so long, her paranoia started kicking in. You know, people with dementia, they start getting real paranoid. Obviously, what most people know is that they start forgetting things. So now they can be a harm to themselves and other people, right? So thankfully, I have roommates that live with me back in the States. So she would call me, or she'll have them call me, hey, there's somebody outside. And, I'll rush home. So after a couple of those, I was like, man, let me just take her to the doctor. And the doctor said immediately, It's crazy because now that I think about it, so the doctor says, yeah, she's in the middle stages of dementia, and you probably need to start looking for a nursery home, just like that. No, nothing else. So at that point, I knew that financial. I start, just like anybody else, start doing the research about dementia because most people we don't care about things that don't affect us. But as soon as it start affecting us, the wheels start spinning. So you start educating yourself. So one of the things that I started educating myself is, what is this going to cost me? And nursery homes in DMV area, 4 to 6 thousand. Home care, just a regular person was like 450 a week for somebody just to administer uh, medication, not even cook, clean, nothing. So those numbers, I was like, man, this isn't going to work. So a lot of people might ask, so why didn't you go to the government? And this is why, to get assistance. I think as minorities, we don't do a good job of talking, having these difficult talks about death, sickness, estate planning, right? We don't want to talk about that, especially, with a loved one. But it's so important. Like I tell people now, estate planning starts today. You should have been talking about it yesterday, but it starts today, really, because estate planning really messed me up. And I'm going to tell you how. It messed me up because my mom used to work at a hotel in the hotel industry all her life. Like I mentioned, she doesn't speak any English, so most Hispanic people or minority, they'll work at hotels, restaurants. Well, her avenue was hotel industry. That's a dirty business as its own because what the hotel industry do is they have umbrella companies. So they'll sell off to their umbrella company every couple of years so that the workers don't get a full pension, right? So what happened was we got to the point that I was like, all right, no more working. So when she wasn't working, her pension is very small. It's only $200 a month, even though she's been working with the same hotel in the same industry for over 30 years. But it keeps
Wow.
on selling off, right? And obviously, as a minority, my mom has she migrated from the DR with a 4th grade education. So she's very intelligent, but as far as book smart, she doesn't know about 401k. Most of them at her age, 79, didn't know about any of that stuff. So she doesn't have any retirement. She doesn't, none of that stuff. Pensions, except for that $200 pension and then Social Security. So somebody would still say, well, she's still under the threshold of being able to get Medicaid, right? But here you go. I didn't understand the situation until I was affected by the situation. So when my mom retired, she was living with me, paid no bills, right? So all her Social Security money and her pension has been accumulating for over 5 years. So what does that do? I'm thinking I'm being a good son by letting my mom's account grow, or for she could just do whatever she wants to do. But what happened is, if you don't do proper estate planning, you can't get Medicaid because she has too much assets. Your light went out, I think.
You may continue.
Okay.
I told you, we both
Okay.
we have the same issues.
Okay, cool.
You
So,
don't. I'm trying to get it taken care of.
okay, so
Keep going, my brother.
when that kick in, Medicaid makes you, if you put them in a nursery home, Medicaid makes you exhaust their assets all the way down to $2,000. So you cannot transfer nothing out of her account because then Medicaid will flag you. So at that point, I had no government help, no pension, no nothing. There was only one place that I could come, and that was the Dominican Republic, that I can afford not to put her in a nursery home and liquidate all her assets. So we've been here now for about a year and a half. Oh, and another thing. So talking about Medicaid and the medical expenses. After, you start crunching the numbers, just with the copays with her insurance, you're gonna, to see a specialist is $45. To see a regular primary care is $25. To prescription. So all that stuff in a month adds up. From her Social Security, it's $1,200 a month, right? From that $1,200 a month, they take I think it's like $150 a month back for the health insurance. So it's like the US makes you work all your life to take everything back. Thankfully, she didn't have a house in her name. So what you can keep is a primary car and a house. But when they die, they come back and collect whatever the proceeds, whatever it cost them to have them in a nursery home. So either way, I was just like, you know what? The easiest way for me to take care of this problem is to move. So I got up and moved to the Dominican Republic.
Wow. So much information there. And I do apologize for the slight interruption with my light. I'm trying to get that taken care of. But one of the main things is medical care in America is so expensive.
Unbelievable.
And a lot of people, I don't think that they really think that it is worth investing into while they are young. But what you mentioned was something that was so powerful, my brother, is the fact that your mother traveling from a country that is, at the time your mother traveled out of DR was considered a third world country.
Correct.
And she did not have the proper education to know how to secure her own future, which made it, as she got older, she worked all her life basically for nothing, right?
Right. And not, you said her own future, but as the first wave of person to get to the States, right? We're about to venture off into something that just makes me so
Because
angry.
we need to educate y'all. Please share the live, and don't forget to check out my brother's channel. Kindly, you all stop by there, subscribe to his channel, and let's help his channel to get to that 1,000 subscribers that he is in need of. And we'll get to your YouTube channel too, because we talked about that. I thought it was so funny. But come on, my brother, you may continue.
So you mentioned to secure her future. Well, she was the first wave of our family to get to the US. So you coming from Haiti, when you migrate into the US and you're the first wave, you work, you live in a room, and all your money goes back to the country to bring everybody over, right? So you would think that now, Jorge, after my mom bringing everybody over and helping everybody, like I said, I'm the youngest. I have a large Hispanic family. I have nieces and nephews older than me since my mom had me so late. You would think that Jorge would have all the help in the world, right? And I'm not just saying this because she's my mom, but you would think that, but it doesn't work that way. So she helped so many people build her future and their future. And now, anyway, and now, it's
Speak, my brother, speak. Those
now
are
it's no longer convenient. So that's why I tell people, me personally, I don't have children. So I know that having children, there's a different bond. Yes, when they're young, have that bond. But I try to tell everybody, you could be my mom. You could be inconvenience, even to people that love you, right? So Taking care of my mom with dementia gave me a whole new perspective of life. I'm not that nice of a person. I've seen my mom do for people things that I would never do. And for her now to be an inconvenience, it's like, whoa, if she, after all she did, you know, can't get the help now, imagine you got to restructure your life. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I look at life totally different. You should love your kids, love your neighbor, love everybody, but you should love yourself first too. You know, if she would have loved herself first, then maybe things would have worked out a little different. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Wow. We're going to go into the audience. I want to thank each and everyone for joining us. Please share the live. Don't forget, if you are new here, to please hit that subscribe button and definitely check out my brother's channel. Miss Glacita, it's nice to see you too. Mr. Jackson says, hey, Marie, ask the brother what is his educational status. He sounds very informed.
I barely graduated high school. That's another thing I tell people. You don't have, the US will brainwash us to think that you have to have $1 million in the bank and a high education. Nah, I've worked with my hands all my life. All you have to do is sacrifice and not pay attention to the glimpse and glitter. Like, they do a good job of keeping us busy, keeping us in debt. Once we break them chains, you can accomplish a lot. Like, you know, like I said, a lot of people ask me, man, you must have, you know, money in the bank, or y'all came from money. Man, we don't come from nothing. I'm working off of my mom's Social Security, her $200 pension, and I receive a disability.
Wow. And you mentioned you received a disability. Where do you get that disability from, and what
From the
for?
government. From the government.
From the government. Do you
Yes.
have a military background?
Yes, I was in the Army, so I get a pension from them, and I was in the government. I was injured, so I suffer. See, that's that's another thing. So, you know, honestly, I came to YouTube, to the platform, to seek help, you know, from other people, which that's one thing, like, you know, I don't have a lot of subscribers, but the subscribers that I do have, they've been, you know, supportive and helped me a lot with, like, they might be like, oh, I have a couple of subscribers that are going through the same thing. They're like, oh, Jorge, try music. You know, the music helped my mom. And sure enough, you know, it'll be like, okay, try puzzles. And guess what? Same thing, you know, so we've been helping each other. But I suffer with, I've never said this, but it's, you know, PTSD, you know. So it's like, at sometimes even though I have my own issues, her issues multiply the issues. You know what I'm saying? Because I have my own issues, but you don't have that space to be like, you know, to escape. So that's why I started my channel, to have a space to escape. You know.
Wow. Stallion, you've carried five people. Thank you so very much, Stallion, for your continuous love and support of life in Haiti. Stallion says, are you getting any assistance from your siblings? How many siblings are in your family? Wow.
I have 3 sisters and a brother. My brother helps me. He helps me with whatever he can, you know. But yeah, my brother helps me. My sisters, I'm not gonna say they so yeah, nah. But my brother helps me when he can.
Wow.
But honestly, you know, I think I did a video on this. I think sometimes there's more out of sight, out of mind, you know.
But your mother?
I don't know. That's, you know, something
I'm
you
gonna
got.
play devil's advocate here because I was blessed with 2 mothers, the one who had me and the one who raised me. And I want to say, for many of you all, if you still have your mother, there are sacrifices that you definitely need to be willing to make, because a mother's job, a mother's love it is something that is undescribable.
I'm gonna
So
say
to set out aside mind for your mother who actually raised you, and I'm gonna give you back the mic. I just don't buy that because today, as it stands, I met my mother at 36, and I would do anything for her. And I can only imagine if she struggled with me, if she would even still be in Haiti. And at times, hanging out with her saddens me because I feel like if she was there and I saw her struggle, would I have made some of the same decisions that I made in my youth? So, out of sight, out of mind for a mother who was present, that is no excuse. And that's just my opinion, too. I'm not an expert. I don't know.
that's true. I do understand, but at the same time, I can probably say I can hold some of that weight for them because they see it as, I'm pretty sure. I mean, some, like I said, most people don't like want to have that conversation, but I'm pretty sure they just say, "Oh, he got it," or "Jorge got it," and also they're busy with their lives too, you know. So it's like, you know, especially being in the States, it's easy for me to say, to get up and go, right? Because I don't have a wife, I don't have children. They have husbands, they have 5 kids, they have grandkids, they got great grand, you know. So I can understand that part. I do get angry. I'm not gonna lie to you. I get extremely angry sometimes. You know, when they don't call enough, and I have to call, and she's asking, or she has a little photo album that she goes through. I get extremely angry, but I do make the call for it. You know, I think that they should call more. But I'm the type of person, I'm not gonna ask for help. You know, if you want to help, I don't think I should have to ask for help, right? I think that, you know, you should offer as your mom too, you know, do you need anything? Can I do this? Can I do that? And it's, I'm gonna tell you, I really didn't notice it because I've been doing it for so long until one of my subscribers, and it really messed me up. And I had to have a conversation with them. I was like, one of my subscribers that I don't even know. I've never met him. I've never nothing. Just off of one
You
month of
meet some
YouTube.
awesome people, right? On YouTube.
Yeah, like it messed me up big time.
You
I'm not
got
even
the
gonna lie. I don't.
trolls, but you get a family that you could never imagine.
This guy sends me $20 through Cash App. So long story short, he contacts me. We exchange number on Instagram because he wanted some information that he didn't want to share on, you know, on YouTube. And I wake up one day and I see, and then he's just like, "Oh, buy your mom some ice cream." Because I guess he's seen one of my videos and stuff. And I'm like, yo, a subscriber. He didn't ask me, did I need it? Did she need something? He just sent it. But my own family won't do it. So I did have that conversation with them. I was just like, you know, it is bothering. I'm gonna tell you, it's definitely bothering. It's definitely bothering.
So we're gonna get into a little bit. I want to say a little bit more difficult side to it. Um, and I know some people have questions, and this here it's a more serious live that like you say, a lot of people don't think about until they come across it, but it definitely is something that we need to consider. Kalo KTV says U.S. citizens in DR didn't establish their residency in DR, can't do much in the Dominican system. Now, you move to DR to one question: what is the expenses like? What is the expenses? How much cheaper is it living in DR compared to living in the US?
For us, it's about at least $2,500 cheaper for us. That's including the basic stuff. So, and that's not including if I would have took the nursery home route That's not including if I would have took the home aid route. I'm talking about just as is, me doing stuff, me doing everything, and watching over her. So at least minimum 2,500 less a month,
Wow.
and
The
that's
med.
with her having
Mhm.
no insurance. She has no insurance. I take her to get a checkup. Full blood work. She sees a neurologist. They take different CAT scans of her brain every month to see how the dementias is progressing. Lab work, uh, everything. And even with that cost, medical is still cheaper here than what it was in the States. Paying
Wow.
for medication, paying for everything.
Let me give a shout out to Sankafo. You carried 20 people, 20 people. I just want to thank you so very much for your continuous love and support of life in Haiti. I probably messed the name up a little bit. So please forgive me. Thank you for the love. So how is medical there? How is medical care? Because a lot of people I know, that's one of their biggest concerns, because most people move to the island when they retire, and at that
Mm-hmm.
age is when all the wear and tears then came about.
Mm-hmm.
What is medical? What is the medical care? What is it like in DR?
The last part you cut out. You couldn't. I couldn't hear you.
What
What was the
what
last
is um, what is medical care like? The facilities, are they
part?
clean? Are they what is the customer service like there? The medication, how easy? Because I know here in Haiti, and yes, I am Team Haiti for all my peoples. I already see some of the comments. I know that there is difficulties to get some medications in Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
How is it? Is it easy to get access to medical care?
Okay. So if you go the public route, I haven't gone that route, and I've heard a lot of horror stories. So thankfully, I'm in a position that I didn't have to go that route. Right now, all private facilities that I've been to, dental, everything, her neurologist, all the primary care, even my stuff, it's comparable to the States. I haven't had no issues. So what I do, because we know how family is, right? So they don't ask to help. Like I said, my brother helps me. But if something was to go wrong, I already know that the blame will fall on me, right? So what I do to just not have those issues, anything that I get from this here, like medication, prescriptions, stuff like that, I send it to her primary care doctor in the states of Maryland, right? So then once they tell me yes, it's okay, then I get the prescription here. So I haven't had any issues getting the exact prescription here. I haven't had to go generic. I haven't had to, I'm pretty sure that there's a cost associated with that, right? But as I said, it's still more affordable than anything close to the States. Like dental work. I take it to go to the dentist is like $10, $15. In the States, we know that a root canal can cost you $900 to $1,000 just to get a root canal done with insurance, right? So I think that the facilities are all nice facilities. They treat you. To me, I go to a place. That's one of the reasons I moved to Santiago. I don't have any family in Santiago. We just got up and came here because I did the research. Just like most young guys and most people on YouTube, I used to go to Puerto Plata, Sosúa area, just to be honest, right? But then
Mhm.
once, I said, once this happened, I said, okay, where can I go for the hospitals? So Santiago was like number two. The capital here is the Santo Domingo, but it's too congested. So Here in Santiago, we got two big hospitals. I live 5 minutes away from them. One is home, and one is called Unión Médica, and it's one of the best hospitals here in DR. So they're comparable to the States. That's one of the reasons. That's the main reason I moved to Santiago.
Wow. So basically, they're turning DR to baby America.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So
Well, they're
you
trying at least.
you need
Now,
to at least consider visiting Haiti, okay?
a lot of people, some people have problems with DR, but for me, I'm to the point in my life that, I enjoy my time with my mom. I can be in any state, any country, long as it has what I need as far as medical care, or, I watch TV all day. I'm not out and about unless I'm going out to eat with my mother or something like that. But other than that, I can be anywhere.
Wow. So let's give a shout out to some people. Stallion. You've carried 10 people tonight. Thank you so much, Stallion, for your love and continuous support of life in Haiti. I read somewhere that shark cartilage helps reverse or minimize dementia. Have you heard it? Have you heard anything like that?
Nah, that's the first one for me.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, that's the bad part right there. Like that, it's something that they don't have no cure for. They have supposedly is a medication that she's on that slows it down. But as far as reversing it, or there's nothing that any doctors here or any doctors in Colombia, any doctors in the States said that you can take to fix.
Wow. You answered my next question, but let's give a shout out to Miss Maggie Roberts. Miss Maggie, thank you so very much for your continuous love and support of life in Haiti. You've carried 5 people, 5 people. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Miss Maggie. And it's good to have you on live with me tonight. So I want to ask, because I'm from a big family with siblings, at times when it comes to making decisions for definitely with our parents, it takes everybody's head on the table to see majority wins. Did your siblings support your decision to move to DR with your mother? Could it
That
be
was
that that's probably one of the reasons why they're not supporting?
so. My family is kind of tricky. Like I said, my mom's lived with me for the last ladder of 8 to 6 years, something like that. So when we was all faced with the dementia talk, it was pretty much, okay, so what are you going to do? So I brought it to the family at first to see their opinion, but I already had in my mind what I was going to do because I already did the research as far as the cost. And I know that there's no way that I can afford to be home 24 hours a day with her, and B, not put her in a nursery home. So, I had that conversation with, so do y'all want to put her in a nursery home or are we leaving? Well, you can figure something else out, this and that, that and this. You know how family is, some families are. But the thing was, I would say it kind of bothered me a little bit having to bring her here. So, I did all the extra stuff like get her a cell phone, do this, do that, to make sure they had contact with her. But they all knew the problem, but nobody was giving any solutions, So I'm pretty sure they probably did feel some type of way that I brought her, but it wasn't like, they would come see her every week anyway, or every 2 weeks anyway. When you get to that age, and let me take a step back too, because I don't want to just point on my family, because I have a good family, nothing against them. And I do think that they love her, right? But like I said, you can love somebody and they can still be an inconvenience, right? So you can love somebody and have to prioritize other things in front of that person, right? So even myself, like I don't want people to see this interview and just be like, oh, he's a nice guy. You know, I had my moments where, you know, the nice car, I needed the Range Rover for $800 a month. I needed to go to the club, you know, all the things that keep us young guys busy and keep us in the rat race and keep us locked down into debt. You know, I need to go party. I need to do this. And I'm not going to say that I didn't help her a little bit, but I wasn't, you know, at her doorstep all the time because I was prioritizing other things as well, right? So I don't want to just make it sound like, oh, they don't love her. They do love her, but she's an inconvenience. Like, to be honest, I love her, and sometimes I get frustrated, you know, or sometimes she might be an inconvenience. So I don't want somebody to just be like that. But one thing that I've realized that I've talked to people on my channel, that is normal. You know, it's a normal feeling because we're human at the end of the day too. So I'm not gonna say they don't love her. They do love her. You know, I know my brothers and sisters love her. I know her nieces and nephews love her. But I would say that right now they have other things ahead of her, right? So like I did the video and I spoke to all of them. I was like, yo, that's fine that you put everything ahead. But usually what I've seen is they be the first person to jump in the casket, right? They be the first person to cry and complain, like, oh, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. Like, you know, you have time now, you know, and even people watching this, some people watching it. I mean, if you ask them, does your mother take medication? They might not know, but you should find out. What's your mother's favorite color? Or who's your mom's primary care doctors? These are all things that I didn't know, you know, so I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, I've been like this all my life. Nah, I started being like this when my back was against the wall. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh, I don't want to paint the picture because, you know, this is live for everybody that I've been the perfect son all my life, you know, because that's not the case. You know, once again, the US will have you so busy in life that you actually forget. You start accumulating stuff, and the house is more important, and the nice car is more important, and the Gucci belt is more important. But then some cases, your mom is struggling or your mom is still working. And that's another avenue that I want to show, like, man, you know, it's okay to have those things. We all work hard for it, but never forget about home plate, you know, who got you to that point. Never forget about, because, you know, that was one of the biggest things for me. When I started looking up dementia, when the doctor said dementia, and I started looking it up, like, look it up. All you see is like depressing stuff, right? So I was like, man, this is crazy. So if I was depressed before, I mean, when the doctor told me, I was even worse when I started looking it up. I was like, hold on, what in the world? It's pretty much, you got dementia, you about to die. When you got dementia, they put you in a nursery home. You got dementia, you is sitting in a corner in a chair all day, right? So I was like, look, I've been given more than what I need in life. And it's, you know, I don't know why I've been given, but now, you know, I've
To
learned that
whom much is given, much is required.
exactly the world gives you more than what you need. You're just an administrator of things. So to me, I felt like I was given all this opportunity to manage it. All I am is a manager of these things, and this is why. Now I get why. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom's situation was coming down the road. But yeah, I mean, when I looked at it, it was so depressing. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a channel because maybe there's people like me in the same situation, and I'm not gonna let my mom go out like that. I'm not gonna put her in a nursery home. I'm not gonna put her in a room to die. If she's gonna die, yes, she's deteriorating every day. You know, I can tell that, you know, her brain function, her speech, what she remembers. Yes, all that's happening. But in
Can
the
you
mean,
tell us some of the differences? Not to interrupt you, but some of the differences in her behavior, because I've worked with elder patients, and there is something about it's something impactful that happened to them that they revert back to all the time, like that they do not forget. I had one patient, her husband had died. She never forgot her husband. You have to give her two of everything. So, what is the difference in her behavior today than what you are used to?
that's the hard, like one of the hardest things, because you remember them from one way, but then you have to, and you love them from that way, right? But then now you have to love them the way they are now. So the easiest way that I can explain it, in my experience, like I said, I'm not a professional. So she's 79, but in reality, she's like 4 or 5. So like I said, I don't have children. I have nieces and nephews, but you have to have that same patience, right? You have to have that same. Sometimes she'll bust out and cry, just like a kid. Sometimes she'll have her, her tantrums. When it's time to take a shower, sometimes that's a fight. The food, sometimes that's a fight. Her motor skills at first, when she first started, what you start doing is, I don't know, even with kids with special needs, what you start doing is be like, you try to protect them by isolating them, right? Because you don't want to inconvenience other people. So that's another reason why I go to restaurants. That's
Is
another.
she violent
She's not
at
violent,
times?
but she's
So
not
why?
violent. But
I mean,
she,
and this is for others too who are watching. Okay, like I'm a dad's girl, so and my dad loves Haiti. So at some point, Dad, I love you if you're watching, but I'll probably be wrestling with him, changing his diapers or something. Who knows? I pray I live long enough. But why does she have to be isolated?
no, I said at first you want to,
You
because
want to?
yeah,
Okay.
you want to, because it makes you feel like sometimes, I mean, like I said, we're all human. I felt like embarrassed, or I didn't want to put her in a certain situation, not embarrassed, like, oh, look, she's making a mess, but I just didn't want her to feel uncomfortable, because she'll make a mess. The 4-year-old in her will make the mess. But
Then
then the
she come back.
79-year-old, then the 79-year-old in her will realize that she made a mess, right? But then it'll bounce back to the 4-year-old where she can't clean up the mess because her motor skills are deteriorating, right? So then that leads to frustration. So it's not that she's violent, but so now with time, you start learning how to, combat that. So instead of like with me or whoever I'm with, that's why you don't really see us out with people too much. Because if she does make a mess, I learn not to pay the mess no mind. If you don't pay the mess no mind, she doesn't pay the mess no mind, right? So it's things like that happens. Their motor skills, their forgiveness, and then, like you said, they'll revert back to certain stuff. Like now, she reverting back to my dad, right? But
Mm.
my dad,
Remember them good old days, right? It seemed like the women always revert back to their husband.
and it frustrates the mess out of me. I'm gonna be honest with you, like it does. So
Hey,
I
don't
have.
be hating. If that's her happy place, let her stay there.
Well, you're right about that. You're right. But in my situation, my dad left, back when I was like, I'm 38. He left when I was like 11. He left twice. He did so much bad stuff. So I'm like, man, for her to revert back to that and like, yo, like this weekend we went to Samana. She was happy the whole time because she, in her mind, made up that we was gonna go see my dad.
Oh.
So when we get out there and she realized we ain't gonna see my dad, she was just crying, like, off and on, off and on, off and on, even till
Oh,
today. So it can get
is he
frustrating.
still alive?
My dad, I don't even know, to be honest with you. He last thing I know, he had a situation. He was in Orlando Correctional, and he had a situation in there. But I don't have a relationship with him. I've never had a relationship with him since, like I said, since he left at 12 or 11, something like that.
That was something
Yeah,
that
that's
made her.
a lot of people ask me that too. So where's your dad? So there you go. Now y'all know where my dad is. Somewhere, who knows where.
Let's go
But it's
into the
crazy that
audience. I just want you to know, my brother, I know you just don't want to take the credit, but for you to be a young man, 38 years old, as this week, the rest of the month, Haitians, we have yet to get to Mother's Day. Mother's Day is a huge celebration in our country. Mothers are loved. Haïtien yo, nous connaissons fête demain pour qu'on même rive, Jean fête demain c'est un gros bagay pour nous. I want you to know that if nobody bigs you up, life in Haiti, Marie is bigging you all the way up for stepping up. And if you know anything about me, perfection does not match me. But it's all about rewriting your wrongs. And it's not about what you did yesterday, but it's about what you are doing today on forward. And from that day forward, you've been an awesome son. You've been great. So give yourself credit for that and don't take it away from yourself, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So we go into the audience. I see a lot of my people's interacting. Sister to sister, welcome tonight. And I hope that all is going. Send some love to Malachi. Love Malachi. Sister to sister say this brother speaks facts and values. This is life in the USA. They give with one hand and hold you down with the other. The foot is always on the neck. Very true. Deja says, "Hi, Marie. Jorge, you're a great son." Thank you, Deja. And
Thank
for
you.
some of my new people who are here, if you have yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly hit that subscribe button. Abonnez-vous pour abonner avec Chanel ça. Et pas oublier pour nous visiter Chanel pa frem nan et puis nous abonner tout, OK? Link là qui en bleu nan chat là, c'est Chanel Parlant, abonné avec un bel petit garçon. So for the people who have yet to subscribe to his channel, you all take the time, you have my permission to please hit the link and definitely hit that subscribe button. Let's support our brother. One of the things that you mentioned that's very inspiring is that you don't do YouTube for money.
Nah. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I said, I've only been on it for about, a month, a little over a month. I don't even know what I'm doing. And it's more of mental health for me, like to keep me busy, keep my mind on something else. I didn't even know how to use. You see how tech savvy I am. You sending me this stuff, and I don't even know what I lived in a
When
stone.
you got Marie teaching somebody, but if I can learn, you definitely can too. You can learn too. Indeed, Marie, I am living that sacrifice now, and I know that. So that is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring the story to the board, because I've had close people to me to lose their mother, and this is recently. Taking care of their mother, dedicating their life to their mother, leaving, great positions to take care of their mother. And I'm just telling you that you are blessed, okay? You are blessed. Maggie says, "Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a minute since I catch this live." KLOK TV says, can help U.S. citizens with the process to establish their residency in DR. We also offer many more services. KLOK TV can help U.S. citizens with citizenship with the process, but your mother is not a citizen, right?
Yeah, my mom's a Dominican citizen, so I got my cellular and all my paperwork through her. So we're good on that side. That's one of the reasons why we came here and still are here. So
All
we're good
right.
on that. I appreciate it.
Marie Noog says, "Hi, Marie Noog. How you doing, sis? Having a dementia parent requires lots of attention financially, mentally, and physically on the caregiver. I want to ask you, thank you, Sinkafa, thank you. I want to ask you, is there a difference between dementia and Alzheimer's itself?"
To my understanding, it's a branch off of it. It all falls under Alzheimer's, but there's different kinds of Alzheimer's. To my understanding of it, like I said, I'm not no professional, so they have Lewy body dementia, they have the regular dementia, they have Alzheimer's, but it's all the deterioration of the brain. They just
Mhm.
have different names to it for different reasons.
Maybe dementia is somewhat like the symptoms of Alzheimer's, and Alzheimer's will be the name of the actual disease.
It can be, yes. It sounds about right. Sounds about
I'm
right.
just guessing. Hmm.
But
Sister, sister. Mhm.
it all falls under the same thing though. Same, pretty much same treatment, same medication from my knowledge.
From your
Like I
knowledge.
said, I'm all new to this. This is one of the main reasons. A lot of people think that, the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel really is to get help from others, have people
To
to
help
talk to.
you.
Like I've
Hmm.
been talked to that have already experienced this either with one of their loved ones or something like that. So, and I've had most of my followers had somebody with dementia, either a relative or they're going through it, and we just bounce information off of each other. So that's like one of the main reasons. And then to also encourage people, I am not rich. You know what I'm saying? I am not rich. I had that same fear to get up. The U.S. do a great job of advertisement and telling us that that's the only place that we can live, right? That's not the case. You have options. You have options. If you have steady income, if you have a disability, you have options. The U.S. makes it seem that every other country is dangerous. Haiti's dangerous. DR is dangerous. Colombia is dangerous. Everywhere is dangerous except for the US. But if you're from where I'm from, Baltimore is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Southeast
And have
DC.
one of the highest crime rates.
Exactly. But
Don't
they
go
don't
there because YouTube don't like when you talk bad about. So
talk bad about what? The states?
yeah, any little thing you sometimes say
Oh,
about
okay.
the states, they look at
Well, I'm
it.
just saying
You
you
know,
have options. You have
yeah,
options. You can,
that's
you
true.
know, medical care. I would have already been tapped out. I would have already been, a lot of people go bankrupt due to medical bills and medical expenses. I'm telling you, there is no way in the world, even if I wanted to, I could afford to give my mom a life of dignity in the States. There's no way. So you have options.
Wow. Um, Caroline Newton says, Marie, tell him to check Cuba concerning her mind. Cuba have one of the best medical systems in the world. You mentioned about having a Cuba background. Have you thought about looking into Cuba?
I haven't. I definitely haven't. But yeah, my dad's he's Cuban, so I've been to Cuba a few times. I definitely know that their medical system is nice.
Yeah. Stallion also mentioned, is there any family in the Dominican Republic that is helping you out with her since she is from DR? What
They
happened
live
to all the people she assists?
well, they live on the other side of the island. So they live, 6 hours away. I don't know if and like I said, that's not their fault. I did that A because of the hospitals, and B because I mean some of us that travel and have family in other countries understand that when you come from the States, people think that, you
You
know,
got
uh,
money.
he got it. He got money. You got this. So that's one of the reasons I live in Santiago. But to answer that question, no, no family here. I had to start from scratch. I had to find somebody. I have somebody that has been a blessing to us that does pretty much. She's great with her. She does the cooking, the cleaning, help out with everything. And then the key thing, I seen one of your subscribers mention it also as far as pets, but not only pets, children. Children are like a blessing to this disease because, like I told you, she goes from 79 to being a 4 or 5 year old. So having a kid around keeps her so busy at times.
When are you going to give her a grandbaby?
Oh no, I have a vasectomy. No kids, no kids for me, no kids for me.
It's a
Those
tough
those days.
decision.
Yeah, I made that decision about 5 years ago. Being in the States, being a young male at that minority, the system is kind of rigged towards us. So I was raised by an uncle that always said, if you're 85% happy, don't go chasing that 15% and throw the whole 85% away. Because chasing that 15%, that 85 can go all the way down. So sometimes, yes, would I have wanted kids in a perfect world? Absolutely. But I've seen a lot of my friends and family, not to be negative, have children and get taken through the system, child support for whatever reason. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going through that one.
Hmm.
So
Well, you're in DR now, so it's a different system, but I do understand. I do
now, if I
understand.
would have thought about it, I would have probably done it. But like I said before, sometimes the world already know the path that we about to take, and it prepares you for it. So, in my case, a lot of people say, "Oh, you're such a good son. You're such a good son," right? That's what a lot of the comments say, right? But being a good son, will I be a good husband? Most women, they see, oh, he's such a good son. He's such a good son.
You're going
But
somewhere else now.
but
But stop.
I promise you that being a good husband might not be the case, right? Because in all situations, I have to put my mom first now, right? And no matter how nice or the woman is, the woman can be the perfect woman for you, right? But what's gonna happen? She's gonna get tired of that. So it's gonna draw friction. So that's why even dating is difficult when you're a caregiver because you have to, the way I date, no children, no kids, no wife until this phase. Because being a good son is one thing, but it's gonna clash with being a good husband or being a good, and that's just normal. Many women will see it as a good thing until it's in their household. Think about it. I'm her son. She's done unlimited sacrifices for me, right, throughout the life. But she hasn't made sacrifices. Let's just say if I was married for my wife. So I'm going to deal with stuff that my wife might not understand. Now I got two problems on my hand. Sometimes she drives me crazy, to be honest, right? Because like I said, I'm human. So she drives me crazy. Now imagine somebody that she's done nothing for. She might have love for me, but is she going to have that same love needed? Or would my mom just be an inconvenience? So you can't have it all in life. That's one thing I've learned. You can't have it all in life. You gotta roll with
Definitely,
the,
because it's what they say is levels to it.
yeah, you gotta, roll with the phase you in and keep on pushing. This is my phase for right now. Hopefully I have the strength to see it out, but I can't, like people be like, oh, you don't want to get married, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't want to do it. Makes no sense to have one right now. My
Wow.
time and attention goes to this situation. It can't go to two situations. Oh yeah, I mean, there's a
So,
lot of. That's another thing. Like for people out here, if you have somebody taking care of, your mother, your brother, your sister, whoever, make sure you reach out to them. Make sure you check and see if they okay. Make sure they you ask them how their day is going because it ain't easy.
wow.
I'm out here in DR. I can only imagine if I was in the States still having to work, deal with this everyday stress of work, and then come home to this. I couldn't even imagine it. My hat goes out to people that's doing it in the States, man. Because like I said, I have all the help that I need here. I have home cooked meals here. I can get out, go to the beach, go to a restaurant for cheap, a couple dollars. You go out to eat in the States, it's 50, 60, $100 every time you sit down. You try to get help, it's expensive. So, and then having to deal with a regular job, man, my hat goes. I got a lot of respect for them people.
Wow. That's very true. And I think I know that is why I brought you to collab, is because I know so many people going through the same thing. You're the only men actually that I've spoke to that I know of that's made that type of sacrifice. However, it is good to have a community where you all can be there to emotionally support each other, even form a group, because as you said, it gets frustrating on even the caregiver. Mr. James Austin, please excuse my electricity, you all. I'm not sure exactly myself what's going on. I'm just glad it comes back on, I hope. Mr. James says, I've heard that consuming 2 teaspoons full of coconut oil daily can help reverse dementia.
Okay.
Does it matter the stage? Have you heard of that? And do you have access to coconut oil?
I'm pretty sure I do here. I'm gonna read into that. I appreciate that. I'm gonna read into that to see and to try it out. Like I said, we're to the point that we'll try anything. Like as long as it don't hurt her.
That's true. It doesn't, hurt to try something different out. Mona says also a very healthy diet with green nuts, etc. So be sure to keep her diet healthy.
Yeah, we definitely. That's another thing. Her blood pressure was due to the rat race and stuff like that. Her blood pressure was high, super high. Since we've been here in the Dominican Republic, she lost 22 pounds. Her blood pressure is in control. She used to walk with a cane. Now she no longer walks with a cane. So the move has been, it saved her life, but it saved my life too. I can tell you that much.
Wow. Dementia is the process. Alzheimer's and Parkinson are all the loss of neural functions of the brain and body.
Yeah.
Wow. Mr. Wilson Jean, welcome to the live tonight. YouTube represented the system, so there are words, things you cannot discuss. It's very true. Very true. Miss Yoli says, I just subscribed to your channel. Are you Haitian?
Thank you.
Do you have Haitian background?
Not that I know of, not that I know of, but I think we're all a mixture of everything, right?
That's right. That's right.
We all mix with everything.
Daughter of Zion says, buy Gouda, cola herb, or the powder is good for brain memory loss for kids and adults.
Okay.
Wow. Sister says, I just read material about why you should not allow a person with dementia to sleep for long periods of time. When most wake up, they are confused and disoriented.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they want to sleep a
It's,
lot. Trust me, they want to sleep a lot. It's a full-time job, just me trying to keep her busy. That's why I say, like, I seen one of the subscribe comments. It said, if you find the right woman and the godly woman. Here's the
it says
thing.
it would never clash if you have the right woman, bro, a true godly woman.
I can see, but here's the thing. No matter what relationship you in, you're gonna have disagreements. You're gonna have problems. So that's one problem leading from another problem. So yeah, that you might be right, but I don't know. My thing is sometimes we gotta have that conversation and be realistic. Out of 10 people, how many people you think are gonna be that understanding? When your family isn't that understanding, now imagine somebody that you know, you is your wife or your girlfriend or anything like that. I mean, it's not, I would say it's not realistic, to be honest, but to each your own. I wouldn't even
Well,
want to put somebody, I wouldn't even want to put somebody in this situation, to be honest, to be 100% honest.
I'm about to step on your toes here,
Now,
but
it's a difference. Hold on, let me just take that back. It's a
okay.
difference if me and Miss Marie was married for 10 years
That
or
I was gonna say it might
or
take time.
5 years, right? We was
Mhm.
married 5 years, and then dementia happened on either end, right? So somebody in your family, somebody in my family, we've already built the foundation, right? We've already had that commitment to one another. But to try to start a commitment now, to me, it just wouldn't make sense. Now, if we was already married, of course I would expect for my wife to join me on this journey, just like I would join her on the journey. But somebody that, okay, I'm trying to meet today or meet tomorrow, especially in one of these countries, right? Because we all know, we all know we don't want to get out of topic, but when you come from a different country, it's not 100% love all the time at the beginning, at the start. So
I
now you
need to
got,
take you to LIH now.
huh?
I said I need to take you to LIH boys now.
I'm just saying you got to be realistic. So for this phase right now of my life is enough stress to have to deal with that kind of stress. I don't entertain.
Well, I want to just commend you. Your story is very inspiring. Please check out my journey with my mother, and continue to journey what you are doing. Know that the channel may not blow up overnight, but know that you're gonna build that strong community, the community of people that are grounded, community of people that is connected with life. Okay, connected with life. Let's just say that, because a lot of us don't. When we're at a certain age, we're not thinking about healthcare. We're not thinking about the possibilities of the what ifs.
Mhm.
And I hope your channel will inspire many others to do that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love and support. I appreciate all the subscribers that came up. And like I said, the number one thing is have the tough talk now. I know for myself, the hardest, the most difficult thing is wrestling with myself. Am I doing the right thing? Is this what she would have wanted? You know, would she want to live here in the DR, or would she rather be in the States in a nursery home? So all these questions I always wrestle with myself, like, which would she want it? What this, what that? So have those conversations now. It ain't, it's tough. People don't want to have them. You know, put it out to the family. Hey, if this happens, this is what we're going to do. This is what such and such is going to be responsible for. What are we going to do? Like I've come across people that, their parents do have assets. They wrestling about should they sell it or not. Something that their parents earned. They wrestling about should they sell it to take care of them. So have these conversations and make sure you have in writing what you want done is my biggest thing. And it's never too soon.
You're very right. And I'm gonna give a big shout out to Miss P Talks. The sunshine is better for her, more healthy.
Yeah.
Yes, we are talking about dementia. Well, I just want to thank you. We're well over our hour. Is there any last words? What would you like to tell people who still have their mother? Whether if it's a young man, young lady who's watching, or someone dealing with somebody in a similar situation, leave something on their mind that would encourage them to not give up. That even when that frustration set in, that this could very well be the last time I get frustrated with my mother. This could be very, dealing with a loved one with dementia, especially mother or a father. What would you like to share with the world as we part ways on Life in Haiti tonight?
All right. My number one thing is you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present, right? Sometimes I wrestle with myself because, I'm not doing something right or I'm not as patient. But there's no such thing as being perfect when you're dealing with something like this. So I think as caregivers, we're harder on ourselves than anybody else. So you don't have to be perfect. And another thing that I realized that I wrestled with, I thought it was only me going through the situation. When we facing things at time, sometimes we think that our problem is unique and it's not. Speak out to people, talk to people, reach out to people. If you need help, ask for it. Because that would help you. I know every time I speak to a subscriber, every time I reach out to somebody, or sometimes in my darkest time, somebody will reach out to me and it just gives me that extra push to get to the next day. And the last thing I'm going to say is this. We spend our lives collecting things, right? But when that doctor told me your mom has dementia, go look for a nursery home. And I know that I made a promise to her years ago I would never put her in a home. I didn't care about how many square feet house I had. I didn't care about, what clothes, what Jordans, what shoes, what jewelry, what car I was driving. The only thing I cared about was how am I going to flip this bill? How am I going to not break this promise? So nothing was important except for that. So people, spend time with people, not with things. Don't collect materialistic things. Collect the love and the time and the attention that you can give to the people that showed you love when you didn't have it. Because we get lost sometimes as human beings, which is normal. I've done it. We get lost, with the cars, with the houses, with the clothes, with this, with that. And at the end of the day, at your darkest times, you're not gonna care about none of that stuff. I promise you, because I didn't care about none of that stuff. And now I learned to do more with less. And I live a beautiful life with my mother.
Wow. It is, I think 83 great soul, okay? Because you 83 baby too, right? Or
84.
two.
Hey, man. Huh?
84, 84, 84. Eh, where's mom? Let us see her.
My America. She just stepped
Oh,
up. Ven acá.
yes, you gotta let us.
Ven, salúdalo aquí. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this bigger.
Y'all share the
Venga,
live. Make sure
siéntese.
to give this live a like. Be sure to give this live a like.
Dile hi.
Ay,
Ah, ¿cómo estás?
bien, ¿y usted?
Bien. Yo no hablas mucho español, poquito.
Yeah, me little English, pero de eso understand little.
I, I'm glad to see you.
I saw you, me, I like you.
See,
Thank
that's
you.
another thing. We got.
Everybody sends their love.
I like
Dile
you,
bye,
baby.
ma. Dile bye.
Bye, mi amor.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Mom's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Thank you,
That's
thank
what's
you.
up, my brother. It takes levels. Believe me, you will be everything that you think you're losing. I'm real mushy, okay? It don't take much for me to cry. But if you think you're losing anything, you're not losing anything. People put so much into the world and they forget it is the things which really matters the most at the end of the day that's gonna help you to live a fulfilled life. And you are on the right path, my brother. You on the right path. And I think you one of my best guests, one of my favorites.
Like I said,
So
I
I
was
just
super
want to thank
nervous.
you for sharing your journey.
Hopefully, I wasn't rambling too much. I was super nervous. I'm not used to, the YouTube stuff yet, but hopefully, we'll have another interview when I can,
We
you know.
will.
But I really
We will.
appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your platform with me. Hopefully,
Anytime, my
even
brother.
if they help one person that's going through it, hey, you're not the only person out there.
That's right. It's about bringing awareness to something that is so real that a lot of people all around the world is dealing with and may not want to talk about. Just want to let you know that
Now,
you're not
it's
alone.
definitely not easy. It's not easy to
Hmm.
see, a loved one deteriorate or, sometimes have those bad days. I'm telling you, like I tell everybody, I I consider myself, a strong individual due to my background and stuff like that. But I don't care how strong you are. When you see somebody you care about, it breaks you down.
Don't cry. I
Nah,
love you, my brother. And if I could give you a hug, I would. You're one of
nah.
my favorite guests. And you keep going. Like, I love my parents. They're one of the reasons why I stay on the right path. I've taken them through so much. I remember the years I spent behind bars. I would do any and everything for them. And when I see somebody that love their parents, that means so much to me, for real. Like, especially seeing that from a man, I love and admire that. So, wow, y'all, I love you all. And I did not mean to make you emotional, Jorge, but know that you will be blessed. Y'all check out Jorge's channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's get him to 1K. He doesn't care about it, but I do. That will be some extra income so you can get to do more fun stuff with her and definitely enjoy your memories. All right.
All right, I
Um,
appreciate
Take care, my brother.
appreciate you.
Give your mother a hug for me. And I want to say from life in Haiti also. I know many of my peoples who are watching, they all probably like, you did it, Tess Marie. Take care, my brother. God
All
bless
right.
you. You have a blessed one. We'll talk in a few.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. So as always, you all oh, appreciate the people in our lives. You know the days you've been someone, but you know when they will leave. For the many youths who follow me, I want to tell you the coolest kid is the kid who love and appreciate their parents. I know now it may seem as if the friends are what's cool. I've been there, done that. Just not too long ago, I was a kid myself. But I want you to know that those of you all who have great parents, when your back is up against the wall, when things are tough, know that you will realize that the only person you have as a friend is those that genuinely love you. And 100% of the time is number one, mom and dad. Then it trickles down to the siblings. So appreciate them while they are still here. As always, you all be kind to one another. Tell somebody you love them. Don't go to bed upset tonight. Those of you all that take care of loved ones who are no longer able to take care of themselves, keep pushing. You could never be repaid by anybody that's on earth. Your rewards will come from far. So y'all take care. Until next time, you all, sending much, much love.